Hi, I'm Neil Beck. I was a doctor in Perth, Western Australia for 53 years, and I had 500,000 consultations, home and hospital visits with all sorts of people with all sorts of problems. And I made a list of the 7 things that I thought were most important in life as a result of seeing all these people. The first is mental health. There's nothing more important than being mentally healthy. If you're mentally healthy in a developed country, you can get everything else you want. But you can be in a very wealthy country with poor mental health and sometimes be hungry, cold and homeless. And mental health is the most important thing. The second most important thing in having a good life is good relationships. If you've got good relationships, that's wonderful. And if you've got bad relationships, that's terrible. The third important thing is to have high endorphins chemistry. Endorphins is short for endogenous morphines. Yes, our glands in our brain produce morphine-type chemicals, and those endorphins, morphine-type chemicals, help to stop pain and to stop stress, distress and stress, and they also boost our immune system, which is very important. Our immune system is cells and antibodies and chemicals in every part of our body that fight infections, allergies, inflammation, autoimmune diseases and cancers. Very important. The next most important thing is physical health, and of course if you have got a strong immune system because you've got high endorphins, you'll have good physical health. The sixth thing is a good home. Every young person growing up should realize that one of the most important things they should aim for in life is to have a good home. And of course, the seventh thing is good employment. One of the conclusions that I came to was that there was never going to be enough good, effective mental health care for all the people who needed mental health care. One of the problems was that there seem to be 10 blind areas in mental health, where we were just overlooking important things. The first one, hard to believe, is that mental health is not taught in school. Mental health, the most important thing in your life, should definitely be being taught in school, but it's not taught in school. Not only is mental health not taught, but good relationships are not taught, and high endorphins chemistry are not taught, and the importance of a strong immune system is not taught in school. So that's a very important blind area. The second blind area in mental health is that mental health and addiction problems are nearly always family problems. But troubled people are treated as if they're alone, as if they're isolated. But it's almost always part of a family mental health problem, and the family should be focused on as well. The type of tools and treatment that a mentally troubled person gets should go through to their family, but it usually doesn't. The third blind area is not finding and fixing causes. Nothing happens without a cause, and mental health problems, mental suffering, always have causes. And if you find the causes and correct the causes, it's much easier for people to get better, and they're much less likely to relapse. If they've got a mental health problem or an addiction, and you treat that successfully, it's very hard to treat it successfully without knowing the causes. And if the causes are still there, even if the person gets better, they're likely to relapse. If what caused the problem in the first place is still there, why won't they relapse? Well, so often they do. And mental health and addiction problems should be treated as emergencies. Mental health problems and addiction problems lead to more problems, which lead to more problems, which makes the whole thing so difficult. The simplest, easiest time to deal with mental health and addiction problems is right at the beginning, when the problem is fairly simple and the causes are fairly obvious, and it's just much easier to help a person. But we tend to wait until they crash. We tend to wait until their ADD has caused them to have behavior and relationship problems and a poor education, and then they've got a poor job, and then they're distressed, and they're hyperactive and impulsive, and often don't get the correct treatment, and end up on too much alcohol or drugs, and the whole thing gets very difficult. So when dealing with mental health and addiction problems, keep on saying why. Problems are never isolated. They're always part of a chain of problems. The problem that's present today is due to the problem that was there yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and following the problem today, there's going to be problems in the future. So find the chain of problems, and it usually occurs in a chain of people who are troubled. So find the chain of people. And 60 to 65% of our life is habits. Habits are things that we do automatically and unconsciously, because our brain is so busy it can't consciously do everything. Anything that we do over and over and over again, much the same, it turns into a habit, where the triggers and the underlying electrical messages in our brain and nerves and chemical messages in our blood and glands flow automatically and unconsciously. And because our life changes from time to time, it's very important to know how to make new habits when they become necessary, and how to break habits that we had for some reason yesterday but which are now a problem. So learning to make and break habits is very important, and that's a blind area in mental health as far as I could see. Transgenerational traumas. Transgenerational traumas were very important in my family, and I didn't discover transgenerational traumas till I was in my 80s. When something terrible happens to a person, it affects them, but it affects their children, and often their partner, and that affects the children, and then that affects the grandchildren, and sometimes even the great-grandchildren. In my family's case, a big problem that occurred for a great-grandmother caused problems in my generation. Transgenerational trauma is a blind area. Another blind area is that we seem to be very keen to give people a diagnosis. You've got this, you've got that, you've got something or other else. You've got anxiety disorder, you've got bipolar, you've got post-traumatic stress disorder. But what we really need to be telling them is what they need or want to get better. It's important probably for a person to know that they've got ADD, but what we really need to tell them is that what they need is to learn to focus and concentrate better and to not be so impulsive. It's all very well to tell someone that they've got major depression, but what we should be telling them is that you need to become more cheerful, and to become more cheerful is you this and this. So another blind area, giving people a name of a mental illness, but not telling them what they need to get better from that, to overcome the problems of that mental illness. And another blind area is that we don't seem to teach people to do self-help. If there's never going to be enough helpers to help all the people that need mental health care, then people have to learn how to do some of their mental health care themselves, to do self-help. And there should be teaching and books and videos on self-help, but there don't seem to be. And another blind area is that we tend to focus on finding who to blame. Oh, there's a problem. Who's to blame? And that's hardly ever a valid thing, because problems are always part of a chain of problems, in a chain of people with problems. And to blame one person, oh, your mother was a bad mother, or your father was a drunk, or what, is not valid. We shouldn't be focusing on blame. And always, to help someone get better from a mental health problem, you have to find out exactly what happened, what went wrong, and people are not going to be honest with you if they think you're going to blame them. So blaming is a blind area. And another blind area, which I only learned of fairly recently, is unhelpful family loyalty. People even if their family is a disaster, they often tend to have a sort of a sense of loyalty to their family. And if their family is poor and troubled, they feel that they should stay poor and troubled because that's how their family is. And they don't feel good about being rich and famous and healthy. But we must help people to realize that if their family is troubled, they still need to get better. But what they need to do is, as they get better, and they need to pass on the information and help to other members of the family so that the whole family gets better together. And that's the loyalty we want, the loyalty of helping the whole family to get better, not the loyalty of staying poor and troubled because your family is poor and troubled. And a major reason why there'll never be enough mental health care with the present methods is that the tools are weak. Today we use tools for everything. Whatever we need to do, we've got tools that make it quicker and easier and better and cheaper to do what needs to be done. But in mental health and addiction, there are only two tools, and they've both got great weaknesses. One tool is medicines. Now, some medicines are wonderful, but sadly, a lot of medicines are addictive. The medicine tool has two great weaknesses. One is so many of the medicines are addictive. The commonest mental health problems, anxiety, worry problems, and nearly all the anxiety, worry, tranquilizer medicines are addictive. All the barbiturates, all the benzodiazepines, Ambien, Silnox, all addictive. And the other thing about medicines is they're too slow. Nearly all medicines for mental health and addiction are tablets or capsules. When you take a tablet or a capsule, you have to have a drink to wash it down, and it takes half an hour to an hour to go right down your gut and start to be absorbed into your bloodstream and get back up to your brain or wherever it's needed. And half an hour is just too long to take to start. Swallowed, gut-absorbed medicines are too slow, and they don't work strongly until an hour to 1 to 2 hours after you took them, and that's just too slow. And the other tool with mental health and addiction is talk therapy, counselling, psychotherapy, CBT, whatever you like to call it, but basically talking to the patient, and that is too slow. Talk therapy's got two problems. First of all, it's too slow. When you see a new patient, you need an hour to go into their full case to find what their problems are, what the causes were, what makes it worse, what helps to make it better, and how to make it better. That's just too slow. And the other thing about talk therapy is it's too costly. To be a therapist, you have to have at least a 4-year psychology degree from a university, but maybe a 5-year master's degree or a 6 or 7-year PhD. And to be a psychiatrist takes 10 or 12 years of training. 6 years of a general medical degree, a couple of years of general medical practice, and then 3, 4 or 5 years of psychiatric postgraduate training. So anybody who's smart enough to do all that study has got to be paid well. So talk therapy is too slow and it's too costly. So when I realized all this, I started to develop tools to try to help mental health and addiction problems much better, much faster. And I'm now nearing the completion of my 10th tool. The first tool was videos. There's no faster, better, more convenient, lower cost way of understanding a mental health problem than watching videos. And initially the videos were 10-minute videos, but then we found that people stopped looking at 10-minute videos and they just wanted to look, most of them just wanted to look at 1-minute TikTok type videos. And to cover all the aspects of mental health in 1-minute videos, I had to have 83. I've got 83 under a minute videos on mental health, with about another 10 in the pipeline coming. Videos wonderful. If you find the right videos, and you can watch them over and over and over again till you understand it, and understanding the actual mental health disorder and its causes and its treatment puts you miles in front. But so often with mentally sick people there's very little understanding. So videos. The second tool is websites that people can go to and get information from. And I had long websites, had 31 of them, and then people stopped watching the 8, 10 or 12 minute videos, and stopped and wanted a shorter website. So now I've got a 2-page website called smilefixit.com. smilefixit.com. The website before that, which was about 14 pages and too long for most people, was mentalhealthvideos.a-to-z.com. mentalhealthvideos.a-to-z.com. But now it's smilefixit.com, and if you go to that you'll see everything on 2 pages, and you can just tap links to what you need more information on. The third thing is the Mental Fix-It app, because there's about 90 mental health issues, but people don't have all of them. They just have 6, 8 or 10, 1 or 2 or 3 big ones and a couple of smaller ones. But which of the 83 1-minute videos that I watch? Well, you just go to your phone, tap Google Play or App Store and download the Mental Fix-It app, and then you can tap your choice of answers with the app, and the app program then gives you an instant report which tells you which 6 1-minute videos are going to help you most with your particular package of problems. So the Mental Fix-It app. Originally the Mental Fix-It app asked 38 questions and took 10 minutes, but that was too long. So then we made it 19 questions which took 4 or 5 minutes, and now we've just completed making the Android version into a 2-minute app, and soon we'll make the Apple version into a 2-minute app, because people today just most people want to do things in a hurry, and people with mental health and addiction problems don't have a great attention span, so things have to be fast. The fourth tool is live streaming, which is what I'm doing now. A year ago I hadn't heard of live streaming, but my tech support told me about it, and when I looked at it I realized that that was very powerful, and lots and lots of people love to watch live streaming. So now I do about an hour's live streaming 4 times a week, on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Perth time and 9 a.m. Sunday Perth time, which of course is 11 p.m. in Sydney and Melbourne, and unfortunately 7 p.m. Perth time is 7 a.m. in New York time and 4 a.m. LA time, but we get a lot of viewers from the Northern Hemisphere, from the US, Canada, the UK, Norway, Sweden, and so on. So that's why I do the Sunday morning 9 a.m. Time, because that's Saturday evening, which is a more user-friendly time for people. But the fourth tool was live streaming. The fifth tool is powder medicines. Why powder medicines? Well, it's because with mental health disorders and addictions, you want medicines that work fast. And swallowed gut-absorbed medicines are just too slow, taking half an hour to an hour to start to work and 1 to 2 hours to work strongly. But if you drop powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, don't swallow it, it gets straight into your bloodstream and starts to work in 5 minutes. Your tongue is pink or red because the blood vessels are so close to the surface, and when you sprinkle thousands of tiny granules of powder medicine on your tongue and suck them, they get into those blood vessels and start working in 5 minutes, which is far better than 30 to 60 minutes. And that's working strongly in 10 to 15 minutes, which is far better than working in 1 to 2 hours. And with tongue-absorbed powder medicine, you soon develop what's called taste conditioning. And when you develop taste conditioning, as soon as you taste the medicine, it starts to work. So in seconds, after a couple of weeks of starting in 5 minutes, as soon as you drop it on your tongue and the taste buds at the back of the tongue get the taste, the medicine starts to work. And it's working strongly in 5 to 10 minutes, which is much better. The sixth tool was pocket powder medicine dispensers. Having the powder medicine in a bottle with a little scoop was a bit clumsy and not always very accurate. So I made pocket powder medicine dispensers. The powder medicine is in there. You have that in your pocket. As soon as you start to feel the mental health distress, anxiety, panic, anger, whatever, you whiz it out and drop the powder on your tongue and suck it, and it starts to work very quickly. You can do that anytime, anywhere, even driving the car. You just have it in your pocket, just whiz it out and drop it on your tongue, anytime, anywhere, and start to get help with exactly the right amount of powder in 5 minutes and then in seconds. The seventh tool was a heartbeat meditation aid. Meditation is so valuable for people with mental health and addiction problems, but learning to meditate is hard if you're very distressed, and it's the very distressed people who would most benefit from having the meditation habit. You have to make it a habit. You have to do it so often that it becomes a habit, and you do it for 10, 20 or 30 minutes every day, and it calms you, it relaxes you, you have a rest from all your problems, and then you feel better and you perform better. Um, but the usual practice is to learn to meditate by focusing on your breathing or focusing on a word to let you forget about your problems. But your breathing or a word are not very attention grabbing, and listening to your heart is much more attention grabbing. So this heartbeat meditation aid is just a shortened stethoscope. I just got cheap stethoscopes, cut them short, and this is the listening part, and I can just pop that down over the upper left chest and listen to my heart, and the heartbeat is strong, loud, interesting, and that can help you to develop the meditation habit quite quickly. If you want a heartbeat meditation aid, we can send you one anywhere in the world for $25 plus postage. The eighth tool was a larger powder dispenser, but this dispenser doesn't dispense medicine, it dispenses lovely tasting fruit powder. I've got a book called Hooked, written by near someone or other, which is how everything these days has to be addictive to be a really best seller. And taste is so important to humans. From the day we're born to the day we die, we put stuff in our mouth and we love it to taste good. So what I thought was that if I could give people lovely fruit powder taste that they carry in their pocket everywhere, if they wanted to try not to have a smoke or try not to drink alcohol, or if not to have sugary things that cause obesity and diabetes, what they could do is have a lovely taste instead. And if they have a lovely taste and they focus on that, they can avoid doing the thing that harmful things. Instead of $5 for a block of chocolate, it's a few cents for a lovely taste of powder. My favourite's chocolate and vanilla, but you can put any powder you like in these. And these dispensers are very cheap. Yeah, so that's the eighth tool. The ninth tool will be phone treasure, because what I realized was that almost everybody got a phone, and if on their phone they have things that they love, things to look at, things to listen to that they love, that when they're trying not to do something that's harmful, or when they're feeling a bit depressed or a bit anxious or unhappy, if they can have some phone treasure and just look at it, lovely photos of their grandchildren or their cat or their dog or their garden or a beautiful building or a beautiful river or beautiful mountains or whatever they love, that can help them to change their bad feelings and help them to control undesirable behaviors or to build new habits. But the 10th tool I'm really excited about, and I've been working on it 50 hours a week for about 6 weeks, and I call it Scroll Plus. Scroll Plus. Why Scroll Plus? Well, I'm a bit of a slow learner, but I eventually realized that people love scrolling. One of my closest friend, his wife is a doctor and she's a scroller. um, the TikTok only started in 2016, and yet they have over a billion viewers a month go to TikTok. And what a lot of the people who go to TikTok is just scroll. I did a ChatGPT search to find out why people like scrolling, and they gave 3 reasons. One is that somehow it makes them feel better, it boosts their mood. Secondly, it triggers their creativity. And thirdly, it's addictive. Yes, of course it's addictive. But what I realized is that if we could attach mental health help to scrolling, that would reach a lot of people. So what I've done is I've got 90 items, 90 mental health problems and solutions, and today my tech guy has started to put them on online, and I hope that soon you'll be able to see that. But how does it work? I just got to find the mental things that worry us most are bad feelings, and in this list of 90 items, 92 items, the first group of 17 is bad feelings are usually what trouble us most. And you can scroll through those items very quickly. The first item is our brain, glands and gut produce 25 feel-good happy chemicals that make us happy and healthy, but sometimes we don't produce enough feel-good chemicals. The second item is our feel-good chemicals also boost our immune system, which fights infections, allergies, inflammation, autoimmune disease and cancer. The third item is we also have 4 normal but unpleasant warning feelings: loneliness, sadness, anger and anxious carefulness. They're not nice, but keep us safer and happier. So that's the scroll part, that's the items. And the plus part is when you scroll through, whenever you come to an item that's significant for you, and a lot of the items won't be significant for you, but the advantage of scrolling is you can race through and find everything that's significant for you quite quickly in just a few minutes. Then when you find something that's significant for you, you can instantly tap on a 6 to 16 second video and get some information about that. So they say with the item, bad feelings suppress our feel-good chemistry and immune system, so they make us unhappy and unhealthy and cause more bad feelings in a vicious cycle. If that rings bells for you and you want to know more about it, you can just immediately tap a 14-second video, and the 14-second video will tell you, I'll tell you in the 14-second video, the vicious cycle is that bad feelings depress your feel-good chemistry, which causes more bad feelings, which further depress your feel-good chemistry, which can cause you to get old and sick early. The next item is to be healthy, happy and safe. Build things into your life that boost your feel-good chemistry production. And if that rings bells for you, then just tap the 12-second video. You can't have a healthy, happy, safe life if your feel-good chemistry and immune system are weak. So repeat some of the feel-good chemistry boosters often until they become habits. So what are the feel-good boosters? Our feel-good chemicals production is boosted by smiling, laughing, healthy foods and drinks, physical activity, sunlight, fresh air, nature, flowers, pets, music, beauty, good sleep, good relationships, hugging, kissing and good sex. And if that rings bells for you, then tap the 10-second video, and the 10-second video says, often check that list of feel-good boosters and make enough of them into habits to stay healthy and happy. Another item is have some feel-good words you say, often with a smile. That's great, fantastic, just right, beautiful, magic, congratulations, I did great, hey, I made it. If that rings bells for you, then tap the 7-second video. The 7-second video says, often smiling and thinking and saying positive words is very helpful for you and for those you are with. Most persistent bad feelings are caused by one of the 11 common findable fixable mental health disorders. Find if you have any of them with Scroll Plus and or the Mental Fix It app. The 13-second video is everyone has some mental health problems, and it's very important for you to find and understand yours and their solutions as early as possible when they're so much easier to fix. The second group of items is to be happy and healthy, grow your mental health. To be happy or healthy, grow your mental health. The first item is what usually helps us most to be happy and healthy and to have a good life is growing our mental health. And if that rings bells for you, you tap the 14-second video, and in the 14-second video I tell you, in developed countries there's plenty of most things except mental health, and if we're mentally healthy we can get everything else we need, but if we're mentally unhealthy we may at times get hungry, cold and homeless. The second item is mental health is good feelings, good thinking, good habits and normal warning feelings, with not many bad feelings, thoughts or habits, and no ignored warning feelings. Tap the 7-second video. Being mentally healthy is far better and safer, so do Scroll Plus to find and fix any mental health problems. Another item under that group is to get fully better. Find all your problems in a few minutes, anytime, anywhere, with a fast Scroll Plus or Mental Fix It app check. Consultations are slow and miss things. The 13-second video that goes with that is getting fully mentally healthy is best, but requires finding all your problems. Finding all your problems is simple, fast and low cost with Scroll Plus or Mental Fix It app checks on your phone. Unfortunately, consultations tend to be slow, and the doctor tends to forget to ask you some questions, or you forget to tell them some things, so things get missed. But when you use a Scroll Plus, I've gone through that 100 times and we don't miss anything. Group 3, down on mental health disorders. The first item is depression is not truly fixed until its causes are found and, as far as possible, understood and fixed. And if that rings bells for you, then you tap the 16-second video, and in that I tell you depression has many causes and treatments. Do scroll plus often to find, understand and fix causes. Talk to a wise doctor about antidepressants. Find a therapist. And everyone should understand their family life in their first 1 to 3 years. The second item in Downer mental health disorders is, are my focusing, concentration, decision making and self-control weak because I have attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder? And if you're focusing and concentration and decision making are weak, then you tap the 14-second video which says poor focusing, concentration and impulsiveness with or without hyperactivity are usually due to ADD, ADHD, but can be caused by or worsened by other problems. So check with fast scroll and fix and or mental fix it app checks. Fourth group is upper mental health disorders. The first item is for health and happiness. Good sleep is a necessity, not a luxury. Good sleep is a necessity, not a luxury. And if you have a bit of a problem with sleeping, you tap the 15-second video, and in the 15-second video I tell you enough good sleep is very, very important. If you have a problem with sleep, keep doing fast scroll plus and or mental fix-it app checks and watching the 6 to 60-second videos I recommend until your sleep is good. And it's best to answer all the questions, to go through all the topics if you can, but if you haven't got time or you lose focus at any time, you just press on enough. And when you press on enough, you get an instant list of all the videos that you've chosen to watch, and you can watch them again 1, 2, 3 or as many times as necessary to understand them. And each of those 6 to 16 seconds has a link to a 1-minute video which gives you more information, so you can immediately get more information. That's amazing how much you can learn in a 1-minute video. And if you want to learn even more, there's a link to the Mental Fix-It app, which will soon be 2-minute app. At present, we've just put it up as a 2-minute app on Android, but it's still a 5-minute app on Apple, but that'll be fixed soon. And if you do that app, it'll give you 6 1-minute videos. So in 10 minutes, you whiz out your phone, you tap Google Play or App Store and download the app or the Mental Fix-It app or Scroll Plus and do the check, and immediately get the most important information in 6 to 16 seconds and then a minute videos, which you can watch anytime, anywhere, as often as you need to until you understand it all. Well, I'm so busy that I have to restrict my live streaming a bit now, so I need to stop now. Lots of people want to talk, and I get lots of requests, but I just don't have time to talk to people one at a time. But what I encourage you to do is, if you have a comment or a question or a criticism, please send it to me through whichever platform you watch it: TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook or Instagram. Just send me your comments, questions and criticism, and I will respond to that if I've got your link. If you're a follower, I have your link and I can reply to you straight away. Or you can email me. I always respond to emails, and you can find the email address at smilefixit.com. The short website smilefixit.com. Smilefixit.com has got the email address. It's spelled the way it sounds, and it's healthestuff@gmail.com. healthestuff@gmail.com. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to getting your comments, questions or criticisms or emails. And today is Wednesday, so I'll be back on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Perth time and 9 a.m. Sunday time. Thank you. Bye.